to the Geeks 31 Days of Horror for Halloween. This is Alel.
And this is Steve.
And tonight we're reviewing Talk to Me from 2023, 2022. Came out somewhere earlier, and then A24 re-released it this year here.
Yes.
So 2023. So for those of you who have not been with us before, we will play for you our rating system.
There's a rating system in place that we like to call Hero to Zero. If whatever horror movie we're reviewing is terrifying only to the most infantile who get nightmares from PG-13 reboots, it gets a 0. If it's a gorgasm-inducing slaughter party that satiates your most devious and monstrous desires, it gets a hero.
When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes a terrifying supernatural force. So Steve, you've been wanting to watch this movie, getting me to watch this movie almost for the last couple of months. We've been trying to get this thing. Finally, we're able to get it. What'd you think of Talk to Me, Steve?
I give this movie a hero. I thought Talk to Me was really, really good. It's an Australian movie, so I thought it was. There was a part right in the beginning when they come across a kangaroo in the middle of the road. And I looked to my wife and I said, "I already can't relate to this." Like, what the fuck? No. I digress. I thought that it. I love when movies come out and they kind of just have their own kind of mythology, their own lore. They really present this new idea. Saw, when it first came out, the idea of Jigsaw and all these puzzles and all these things you would have to do, these traps, that kind of, obviously it kind of went crazy. And then Final Destination, kind of same thing. It sets you up with these rules and these things that this does. And The Ring, same thing. This kind of felt like that in a way, where it gives you this object and this is what happens. And I just thought that the whole idea of it was really interesting and just a kind of a new take. Interesting that we do this on the heels of the Insidious franchise, because it does have some through lines in that. A lot of similarities, actually. But this one just felt more real, more gritty. There's some skull trauma in this movie that is shocking. Again, kids are not safe in movies anymore at all.
I think they were all teenagers, so I mean.
We get the lady from Lord of the Rings in here, not bad.
Oh, Eowyn's in this. I was like, yeah.
So, and I like the kid actors here. I think that they all do a pretty good job. Like, not, I don't know them from anything, but they were all pretty believable. I thought that some of the designs of the things in the movie, I'm not sure if they're ghosts, the spirits, whatever they are, were very cool too. You get them in glimpses and flashes and quick leaps until you get some pretty solid looks, and the makeup effects are good. I don't know. I think it's cool. Like, Funko said they were going to come out with their own embalmed hand that you can buy, and I'm like, I kind of want that. I'd put that on.
Really?
Like,
Funko's
that would be. Or something like that, yeah. So I liked it. I give it a hero. I think it was a breath of fresh air, even though it has some similarities with the Insidious franchise. I think it does it in its own way, and I like the world that it set up. So
I'm torn on this, Steve, because I did like it. I thought it was a good movie, well done, well acted. Shocked when I found out this was made by two YouTubers. It's like, damn, what are we doing with our lives, man? But again, it's the same problem I had with the Insidious movies. Is like, it wasn't scary at all. There was no scare outside of forced scare.
I guess that is I didn't really factor.
That is, to me, like, when I'm watching these movies, yes, I want the story and everything, but I want to feel afraid, and I did not feel afraid at all. it was a lot of dumb choices.
I guess
by-
the tension, and for me, was more in line with, you could make this a metaphor for anything, really. I mean, this
Right, it
trouble
is.
starts when these kids are at a party and things get out of hand.
It's like
and
it's
a
an
kid gets
addiction.
hurt.
They're messing around with drugs or something. That's
It makes you like, I really felt for Lord of the Rings lady.
well, and it's a very
Yeah.
interesting take too, because they're all doing this thing, and what are they doing? They're all pulling out their phones and watching. They're all recording this shit, ready to post it on fucking social media. So it's like, this is so weird, coming from our generation, I guess. Like, it felt, our generation felt more private. Even, yes, we were out there. I remember having a camcorder filming a lot of shit, but not like to this extent, right? And, they got the high off of talking to these demons, connecting with these demons, letting them in.
They definitely got some sort of stimulant feeling.
Yeah. So, well, you know what? Let's get into some spoilers, because we're kind of talking about this.
Give your rating at the end. We'll talk
Okay.
about it.
Spoilers.
Again, a crazy opening, because the opening is at a party. Guy's checking on his brother. All of a sudden, goes into the kitchen. The brother comes in, just stabs the dude with a knife or a scissors, I think it was.
No, it was a big ass knife.
Was it a big ass knife? I couldn't remember.
Big old kitchen knife.
Right in the chest. Feels like he missed. Which he did miss, because we see him later. And then goes outside where everybody's running and screaming, and just stabs himself right through the face.
I mean, and it's all like mostly in it's a
one shot.
It's a lit silhouette, but it is a silhouette shot. But man, is it like, holy shit! Like, and that's just how it opens. There's nothing explaining anything. You're just put right into this scene, and it's like, holy crap.
Yep.
And then you spend a lot of time getting to know the three main kids, and the mom and the brother and sister and the main chick and their weird dynamic. Yeah,
Mia. I did not like that personally, because that's my daughter's name, and I was just like, don't want. I never want a main character with my kid's name. I guess what I didn't like here was Mia. I mean, I thought she did well with her job, with her role, and acted it well and everything. But it's just like, every decision she makes is a very poor one. And again, it's another one of these movies, and I think I said it when we were reviewing our Insidious movies. It's like the grief that takes over is kind of what lets these demons in for everyone. Like everyone else in this movie, they don't hold the grief like Mia does. And I think that's why things kind of go haywire here, because she's dealing with, I guess, her mom committing suicide. Because the other thing too here with this is we have a mom demon. I don't believe it's the mom, because there's some shit the mom says that you wouldn't think your mom would say to you. Unless, I guess, she did kill herself, so maybe she's a crazy person. How she's estranged from her dad when all her dad's trying to do is be there, talk to her. She ignores him completely, lives with this whole other family, lives with the Lord of the Rings family, and is just, I don't know. It's just a very maybe it's the relatability thing, Steve. I think you brought it up with the kangaroo. Like, all of a sudden you see a kangaroo on screen, and you're like, well, I don't fucking know where these people are. It just felt it was off for me.
What this movie didn't have was a ton of exposition, right? People weren't explaining things to people as they were moving through it. We were just getting people reacting.
Thrown in. Yeah, we're thrown in.
We were thrown in, and you have to try to find your place and get through it. And after watching a lot of these movies that we've watched for 31 days and having everything explained to me so thoroughly, it's kind of nice just to get tossed in and just see wow. And she is making a series of wrong decisions, but I think that's kind of her journey, right? Like it's like a snowball effect. It's like she wouldn't have made this fourth wrong decision, but because she made the first one, it put her in a position where she had to make that second one, and it all in her head feels right, all except for letting the little brother try the hand, right? Because that's one of those things where, and I've been there in my life where I've made a decision and something happens and I'm like, well, now everything's different because that happened. And everybody's had those big moments, little moments you get right before you get in a car accident and you think, fuck man, if I just would have done this instead of that, like, but I made that decision. And now because of this, all these other things are changing. So you have these moments, and it felt like that was one, right? Where she's like, okay, we could do this. We've all been doing it and nothing's happened. You know, we're all kind of in control of the situation. So, you know, let's give it a shot. And shit goes south, man. And
it's not the right. Yeah.
And, you know, that kind of just sets in motion a lot of things. I mean, her whole world is turned upside down after that moment. And in crazy, scary ways, she's seeing shit. Shit's going crazy. So I get what you're saying about, like, you know, she makes all these wrong decisions, but like her character's this is a different world now. Like the world is not the same as it was before that night. So
yeah, and that is a good take on it, and I get that. But again, for me, when I'm looking at all this stuff, where's the fear factor? And that's what I was hoping for, because this movie is a fantastic proof of concept, right? You have this really cool MacGuffin thing, this hand, the monkey's paw, right? Like you get the wishes, and they all go bad, all that kind of stuff, you know. You have it. It's a cool concept. It's a new way to do it because these kids are having fun with it. Like that's why I told Sean, like, Sean, you gotta watch this thing because you know what Sean always jokes with. He would never get caught doing anything.
Oh, he would never do this. I probably would. He never would. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's just this cool idea of like this hand. It just looks like this random thing, but it's a gateway to another world.
Yeah.
And you get high doing it. So, you know, it's just this interesting concept. I get what you're saying about your hangups on it and needing a little bit more and probably some more flushed out some of these characters.
And like they show you like glimpses of these demons, and then you see them all kind of like you said, get high, I guess, you know, with their eyes all turning and they're having fun. There's that whole big montage scene where they're all doing it over and over again before the kid does it. But then after he does it, that scene is not scary. It's just traumatic, right?
It's very traumatic.
He's bashing his skull.
Trying to pull his eye out.
Oh my, that was nasty. But then after that, it's just kind of like hit her backstory with her mom. Her mom, you know, I did like that you only see the mom in like weird kind of shadow glass kind of thing. You know, she's not, you don't see her, but she's seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really cool visual for that. But again, there's nothing traumatic there, nothing crazy happening except for the demons are trying to kill the boy. They want the boy.
And you're right when you're saying that there's like nothing really scary in this. You're right about that. There was no like jump scares, right? But for me, it was like the scary thing. The scary thing for me was like when the mom comes in and the son's not in the fucking hospital bed anymore. I'm like, oh my god, where is the boy? Like, terrifying. There are some things in there that as a parent you're like, oh shit. And I think that sometimes with these movies, like this one for me felt very realistic. It was very gritty, real. There wasn't a lot of sheen.
I think that's how it's filmed too. Like, I think
so I think you can find yourself in those positions a lot easier than when you're looking at some shiny CGI movie. Yeah. So a lot of those things, like I put myself in their shoes constantly, and in this movie, it's constantly like putting myself in the shoes of like the parents. I'm like with his dad, I'm like, why would you just let your kid go live with somebody else? And I talk to you like this, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, get your shit under control. But then, like, with the mom, like, you see how pissed she is, and then, like, she's super trusting. I'm like, I can understand why she would be like that, especially when she's like, what'd you give my son? And then they do the toxicology reports, and there's nothing. You would feel terrible. Oh my God, you just laid into this kid whose mom just died, and something crazy happened with your son. You know it, but your daughter was there too, and you laid into this other kid, but then turns out like
No.
they didn't give that kid anything.
Yep.
So like the amount of guilt you would feel, and then immediately having that turn to rage when that person then damn near
Tries to
kills your
murder
son.
him.
Yeah. So
And then let's get to the end. I mean, like, so at the end, the mom, the spirit mom, is telling her the only way to save him is to kill him, and she'll take care of his soul. Right then and there, I'm like, that's not her mom. There's no way that's her mom.
no, she wouldn't. She would never tell her daughter to kill someone. So this has to be some nefarious being, of course.
Yeah. And then we get like it's like a smash scene where like we don't know what's happening. We assume that she threw him into into the street to be run over, but ended up
She threw herself.
Did she throw herself or did the sister push her?
I don't know. They didn't show.
Right. So it's
It
like
looked
we
like
don't
the sister
know.
was a ways away from her still when that smash cut to the cars crashing.
So okay, so then let's assume, and you're right. She was because she was at the top.
Let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say
that she
had a
took her
heroic act.
life. Yeah, she took her life.
But at
And
the
then-
same time, she was very shocked that she was dead. So maybe she didn't. So
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when she got up
And then
and
now
she
that
was
I'm-
walking around,
now that I'm thinking
she
about
didn't
it,
think she was dead. She thought she was just hurt, but she was dead.
this movie she goes into the further right there, man. This movie's got a lot
It's
to
The
do with
Conjuring.
Insidious.
Well, and
The
that's
Conjuring.
that's the
You must
yeah,
stick it
screwed
on
up
a whole
again.
nother
It's
scene.
hideous. And that's the other thing too is like you get that scene in the hospital where she sees her dad. So, did she kill the dad, and the dad is going? Is the dad in purgatory or going up? Because like the dad goes in an elevator. So is he going to heaven? Is he alive? And
The
that's
dad
why he
couldn't
can't
be
see her?
alive. Those scissors went into his neck all the way to the handle. That's like the whole length. That's the
Yeah,
whole
but I mean,
length.
I don't know if it missed a major artery.
You could just stick the
survive.
scissors through your neck and yank it out, and then like just be alive. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how quickly 911 was called. I don't know Australian.
It seemed
rules.
like no, the fucking daughter went to the house like the next day, and he was laying there with the blanket, like, like I don't know. Maybe he
But
stopped.
he was moaning, right?
Yeah, I think he was alive.
Yeah. So
It just seemed like a very. I didn't think there was any way he was getting out of that. There was a lot of blood that started coming out as soon as it was.
it was, but he was moaning, and so she could have called 911 and then went back, right? Because then she's like, "Why? Well, why did I come here?"
Which is crazy. You never think she would have made it back. Because if I would have done that and found that person dead and called 911, you got to wait there, right? Till 911 shows up.
Yeah.
Like, but it doesn't seem like she did that. It seemed like
But
she saw him
she
dead and
did.
was like, peace.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because her brother was in peril. At least that's what she thought, and hopefully she did call 911 to save the dad. So I mean, but that's another
I don't know.
vague.
The way we're talking about it now makes me want to drop it to a high sidekick. But I remember when it ended, I was like, wow, that was really good. Like I liked it. My feeling at the end of watching it was hero. But talking it out with you now and realizing how many, I think maybe what I was high on it about was the fact that it was doing things that I wanted them to do in the Insidious movies better. I think like.
Yeah.
Maybe it had some of those Insidious tropes, but then it also like I don't know, like it's a weird thing how similar
This
they are.
one's an R-rated film. That's a PG-13, so you get a little bit more of the darkness.
But there was no real even like there's no deaths. There was not a single death.
Well, she died.
Well, kind of, but you didn't really get to. I mean, you I guess.
The kangaroo.
Technically, yeah. They
kangaroo,
were
she
still
couldn't
moaning.
kill-
They drove away.
Couldn't
when
kill
it
the
was still moaning.
kangaroo either.
So like there was no deaths in it.
Oh, the kid in the beginning killed himself.
Oh, that was he's definitely dead. So there's one.
Yeah, and I guess then the cool thing, which I think you're right, when the end came and she saw the light and she's going toward the light. This is what I was talking about with the lanterns in the Insidious movies. She's going toward the light, and all of a sudden, she's in a house with the hand, and she is now on the other side.
Mhm.
And I like that. I was
That was
like,
good.
"Oh wow, this is very interesting." Now
That's a
she
good
is,
ending.
yeah, and they're seeing her the way she was when she died,
Mhm.
like all cut up and all messed up, and
It's a very cool ending. I do like that. I just wish maybe there was some actual stakes, a higher body count. You could have easily killed off those two kids that were assholes. The big one that kept bringing
yeah,
the hand around, even though the hand was like really damaging to people, he would still bring it to parties and stuff. So that kid can go in movie logic. I'm not saying he deserves to die, but I'm
yeah,
just saying in movie logic that would have been a good one to go. And then his friend, that kid was a dick to everybody. And when what's her name? The main character, was her name
Mia,
Mia, was fighting with the daughter,
yeah,
the sister of the boy that gets injured. When they're having an argument, and she was like, the friend came up and was like, "We didn't say anything. Like that was your idea to let him do it." And I was like, "You guys were all what the fuck are you can't play fucking innocent. Like you were egging that shit on too. You were like, I'll time it. Like get the fuck out of here. Like maybe
well,
you
and
didn't
they
say
didn't
the
blow
word."
out the candle and all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, so Steve,
See, that was another cool
I-
thing. Like I like that, the whole blowing out the candle. Like,
yeah,
oh
close
shit, we
the
didn't
door.
close the door. Like, see, some of that stuff leads to like maybe I guess promises of better things to come in the future. Maybe I think it sets up an interesting world that they could explore.
Well, and I guess they are making a sequel. I guess
And it's
they are
going to be
working.
called Talk Number 2 May.
Is it?
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. If
Oh.
they don't, they're crazy.
Well, there you go. Steve already gave them their title. I'm still on a high sidekick. I liked it. High sidekick's not bad for it. I think this is more of a proof of concept that there could have been more to it, more fleshed out story. Especially if you want to give me the Mia story in this movie with her, I needed more also from her.
Yeah.
You know, because it felt like a lot of stuff was happening with her, and maybe after watching so many of these Conjuring movies Insidious movies in a row, it's Patrick Wilson. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is.
And his mom's name is Lorraine. Okay, it's crazy.
I mean, jeez.
It's James Wan. It's all the same.
It's all the same people. I think maybe that part of maybe diluting it for me a bit because like I keep seeing these movies and like I keep taking pieces out of them that I like, and that was the other thing too is like I didn't care for any of the actors here, and maybe that's what I was like. Not they didn't do anything bad, but I wasn't invested in them. I wasn't invested in Mia's story. I felt terrible for the little kid that got really hurt. But I wasn't invested in his story. I wasn't invested in the sister's story.
Yeah, where's their dad? Like, what's going on? Like,
I wasn't.
You don't know anything.
Yeah,
but that's okay. Like again, like they're not spoon feeding you here. You're just getting you're a glimpse.
You're throwing into a day in a life. Yeah,
a glimpse into what's going on. I do hate, however, when they try to like when the girl's watching like videos of her and her mom, and it was clearly filmed like 2 days before on set with these people that I've never met before, and it's just like, why do they always do this? That was like that video was taken 4 hours ago. What is happening?
It's true.
And then she starts sucking feet, and that's the movie.
Ugh, that's right. That foot sucking scene was really nasty. So, all right.
Well, I still liked it. I
think you should go watch it. I think definitely it's one to watch when you can watch it streaming. You know, like
I think I think my hero rating's fair. I think it is, but
Steve, I don't want to knock you down.
No. I think
enjoyed it.
I think a high sidekick is a very reasonable rating, but I think I'm going to leave my rating where it is.
All right, there you go. So that's it for tonight. This is Alil.
And this is Steve. Until tomorrow night, everybody. Keep it creepy.